to a new video series that I wanted to try to do this year. That is, every quarter we check in on our yearly goals and make sure we're making the right kind of progress or adjustments for our reading and maybe the channel. But now see, this is going to seem odd. I didn't set out clear, defined goals at the beginning of the year. That might be counterproductive to this video series that I also thought of at the beginning of the year. We do have at least 2 goals though that I stated in my New Year, New Me tag, I think that's the one I said, which would be to read more 5-star books. The goal of every reader ever, everywhere. Yes. To start 2 specific series. Yes. So we will talk about those at least. I'm working, if this does happen to be your first time here, this should be an interesting video. Maybe you're just here for the stats that we'll talk about at the beginning, but maybe you'll be interested in trying one of the books that I will talk about as the top 3 of the quarter award. Let's go ahead and try to keep this video from not being long. Full disclosure, this is the second time I filmed it. The first time didn't go great. It didn't go great at all. The nerves were like sky high, so we were off on tangents. I will also be trying to do better by not looking at my notes every 2 seconds. And I'm going to set a timer I don't need that now, because when we get to the book description portions of the awards, we're going to try to rein it in, because one book got talked about a lot and the others maybe a little less so. Another one kind of a lot too. Okay, never mind. Starting out, our stats is going to be how many books we actually got to. In the first quarter of the year, we read 13 out of 17 books started for a total of 531 pages and 22, no, that one was in April. 11 hours listened to. Now it's 13 out of 17 because we DNF'd 3 books. That is the most I think I've ever DNF'd in that short of a period. And one of them it's not a DNF really, because I didn't mean to not finish it and then just not go back to it yet. But I will. I started it in February. I read maybe a chapter in March. I haven't touched it at all this month. Do with that what you will, but I will eventually get back to it because I feel really bad that I haven't. As I said, we're just gonna not look at our notes, and yet here I am scrolling through the notes. The types of books. There were 7 ebooks, 5 that were physical audio mixed. So ones that I have the copy of, but I didn't either want to risk getting it damaged or dirty, or I wanted to try to get through them faster sometimes. So I got the audio from the library, or they were just chunky books in general and I didn't know how to pronounce names. That was also a thing. And one was just a straight, but I used the ebook too a little bit. I said straight audio, but I used the ebook, but I only counted the audio hours for that because I barely looked at the ebook. The places that these came from are going to be 8. That's not right. I didn't update that, did I? It's 7 or 8 from my actual physical TBR that I already owned before the start of the year. I bought 2 audiobooks and then I had 7 ARCs. But see, the one I said didn't count, and I still didn't update this from the first time I filmed it this morning. There was a Kindle Unlimited title in there. There is a Kindle Unlimited, so where does that fall into those? I don't know. The goal of every reader also, or at least the one I wanted to do, I mentioned this last year, is complete series that I've already started. And a lot of people, I'm sure, they want to get caught up on their series, they want to stay caught up on their series. For this, we should read series that we have already started. But Sunshine, you are in a bit of the way of my notes. We started 5 new series this year instead. We did continue on with 3 of them, and we actually managed to finish 2, one of which we started this year. The series that we finished was, first off, the Stolen Heir duology that is part of the Folk of Elfheim. What's the world that Holly Black has created? I finished the Stolen Heir duology following Princess Oak and Lady Surin. And that's wholeness. And then the other one would be the Remembrance of Earth's Past trilogy. Also finished that trilogy, and that was a thing that happened. It was. We're gonna go on though to the best books of the quarter. In 3rd place with 4 stars, which so many things had 4 stars. And if I'd been able to finish that other anticipated releases, it would have definitely been in the top 3 books. And now we still have to hope that it makes it into the top 3 books of the next quarter, because maybe there's some awesome contenders to go along with it. There are definitely awesome contenders that it's already having to fight with in April. Book in 3rd place, though, is A Drop of Corruption by Robert Jackson Bennett, the second one in the Shadows of the Leviathan series. This series is a Sherlock Holmesian type mystery retelling set in a fantasy world. In this fantasy world, though, do not expect feats of magic. No. Instead, they use bioengineering of fungi and other common organic elements that I don't want to go into too much and give too much things away, because you do find out about it in the 1st book, which was The Tainted Cup. In the 2nd book, we are still following our dynamic duo as they are in another impossible case where the only person to call in, of course, would be one of the Empire's best detectives, Anna Dolbara. All of the story, though, is told through her assistant Denios Cole's perspective. In the 1st book, he'd only been working for her for a few months as an engraver, someone who has been engineered, altered, to never forget anything. And they are investigators. So over the past, I want to say it's been 2 years, they have seen a lot of cases. Probably not all as bad as that very first case and the one they're on now, but he will never be able to forget this. And in this book, you see that come about by the fact that he is suffering through mental trauma, commonly associated with the people in his profession that are engravers. Yes, many people go nuts from it, of trying to deal with the fact that he can never forget. And how he's going about dealing with it in his own way, which is not incredibly healthy. I guess it's not super harmful. It's kind of harmful in one regard, but not, it's a thing. Anna knows about it, though, and as she tells him, you know, you really got to find a better way to deal with this and stay in your own bed. So maybe that gives you a clue to how he's solving his problems, because he can't sleep at night. He can't sleep because he can never forget things, and he sees horrible, horrible things. And also he feels that what they're doing, they could be doing more important work for the Empire. And through the story is him working through that kind of issue. And you get to find out so much more about Anna in this one and how she is put to her mental stress test to solve this case. I love her so much. She is just a great character. A lovely quote, because I like to get quotes from the books. Usually I had to put Anna in a room with someone senior and allow her to frighten them witless to get what we needed. That should tell you a little bit about Anna's character and how she goes about things in her highly intelligent, highly unusual, blunt-ish kind of manner. I cannot wait to see where the rest of this series goes and just the path that they are laying out for it. Because while it doesn't sound super fantasy a lot of the time, the fact that we are in this world and what is going on with it, and that you got world building in this one as we were at this whole nother location. And I think the next book will also be in this location, and it's giving you bits and clues to maybe where we're going. And I can't wait to keep going with it. I forgot to set the timer to keep myself from talking too long about the books. Okay, too late now. On to book number 2, which, oh yeah, I held it up, now I can't, I already put it up. That would be The Dark Forest by Shizhen Liu. Book 2 in the Remembrance Earth Past trilogy definitely stood out at 4.5 stars above book 1 and book 3. This is because a lot happens in this. Also, maybe if you just want to read this one to understand this series. Yeah, I could say that. High political machinations, scheming, plotting, selfishness, of course, multi-POV in this one, so you get to see from lots and lots of people, lots of science and space. This one takes place over hundreds and hundreds of years as well. Okay, not hundreds, 200 years at least, as you start from the beginning of the crisis era after the 3-body problem, when Earth has found out something drastically devastating, and science is a very hard thing to come by and suffer, and I don't know if I should say the thing or not say the thing. You probably have heard of it, but let's just not, I suppose. To 240 or so years later, as we are now in space working on Earth's defenses and just trying to keep our civilization alive, showing the overall governmental level how things are changing, how people view things, like I said, political machinations and scheming, to down to the individual common people level, how they are viewing this. And it had some wonderful characters. My favorite character might have done a bunch of bad things. Yep. But this was just amazing. And yes, it does go pretty slow at times. Very with the slow. And how the book ended. How the book ended compared to what we know from book 3. And I don't understand anymore. And book 3, we're not going to talk about that. The best out of context quote from this one would be, "What? You don't believe I'm an angel of justice?" The 2 new series that I said I definitely wanted to try this year, I did start one of them. I actually started it and I read 2 of the books. So the best book of the year probably is not much of a surprise, but it would be Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman with 5 stars. Only 5-star read I've had this year so far. Others have been close, but there's been slight things that didn't. But this book, the first book specifically, was just gold. This is a lit RPG, and our main characters are trying to survive after Earth has been taken over by aliens. As they say, the planet's resources now belong to them. We forgot to file the paperwork so that, we could keep it. But for the entertainment of the universe, they give planets the option that if their members beat the world dungeon, which is 18 levels deep, then there is the option that they could win their planet back. Our main character, Carl, is a retired Coast Guard vet who works with boat electronics at this point in time. And he and his ex-girlfriend's cat, Princess Donut, who is a Persian show cat, so very princessy, go into the world dungeon mostly just to stay alive, because everything that happened on the surface just went smoosh. And yes, no. In the dungeon, though, they use items from the overworld. They use locations from the overworld into their dungeon, and it is broadcast to the universe for mass entertainment and profit. And profit seems to be a key thing that is going to keep coming up through the books. But as they are just trying to survive in this world that is crazy and funny and kooky, and with this insane AI that talks to them and really loves Carl's feet. It is so much, and it is such a fun ride as they are trying to figure out the dungeon. The descriptions are amazing, and the gaming system of it. And yet, even with the funny, even with the quips and the social references that are or entertainment type references, it is just also sweet and touching at times, because Donut's a cat, and okay, a slight spoiler, but she will gain the ability to talk, but she is, while intelligent in some regards, she's also in the ways of like the world and people's, she's like a child, and so she gets scared. It is just very sweet at times, and then they come across other people, and there's things. So for something that is funny, it is also very dark at times and very sad and touching. It accomplishes it all very, very well, which is why I gave the book 5 stars. Because wrapping all of that together and still staying humorous, it's a skill. It's a skill. And our best line from this one, "The ghost of Steve Irwin smiles down upon you," after Carl and Princess Donut did something. And yes, it was just perfect. Okay, perfect is not a word we should use. As near perfect as we've read in a very long time. And I was so, so happy enjoying this book, and will be continuing on with the series. As everybody talks about, it just gets better and better. Sadly for me, book 2 was not the better and better, but I appreciated where we were going and what we were doing and how we had to have it just scoped a little bit differently to maneuver things around. I can appreciate that. That is where we've made it in the first quarter of the year. So for the next quarter, we're going to try to still get more good books, get a new series started up on the channel, a new book series started and reviewing on the channel as well. I don't know where I was going with that line of thought. Working some nonfiction books, because we have not done that yet this year. Working some nonfiction books. And continue, to grow our awesome community. I'd love to know though, if your reading goals for the year, are you doing numerical, just trying to get out of your comfort zone, or how your reading is going? Are you just trying to take it easy? That was also something I should probably say. We should just take our time to enjoy books more, not pile on tons of work for ourselves. I'm not good at that though. I'm really not good at that. I want to know though about you guys, or if you don't have anything to share but you just want to leave a comment, you can leave one of the graph spreadsheet type emojis. Yes, I know those are emojis because we have like finance emojis or something, so that's one of them. Or any weird face that you want if you just want to leave an emoji. That's fine. I hope you're finding something excellent to read today and you're having a good day. I'll see you in the next one.